Good evening, campers, and welcome back to Rimworld. I'm Commander Exorcist. Today we're going to be taking a look at Rimworld 1.5 and talk a little bit about the Anomaly DLC. The game has been out, well, the DLC itself has been out for about 48 hours at the recording of this video. I wanted to wait a little bit of time to kind of see how the modding community reacted and kind of gauge how things were going and actually get in there and play it myself. If I do any kind of content where I talk about a game, I tend to rely less on other people's opinions and kind of show you what I have experienced so far. Now, one of the things I'm going to say right off the bat is I'm not sure if a graphical update has occurred. I know that they had talked about they were going to change the way that the colonists were rendered in the game. But for some reason, overall, the game looks crisp. It looks great. This background for the artwork with the tentacles and the mysterious block of cheese, it is gorgeous. I love this picture. And just the whole game looks amazing. There's something has been done. I can't say for sure what, but I'm convinced that something has been done. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to go into a game, started a little bit of a game, played it for just a little bit to kind of activate the Anomaly DLC so that we can talk about it a little bit. I can go over a few things, some questions that I've seen come up, and I've had some comments on my earlier video, some questions that had asked about it. So we'll talk about that. We're going to go into, I've called them Pinewood Express, and I only had 4 mods running, because when I do my playthroughs, I typically run vanilla. I have a couple of mods like Camera Plus for taking thumbnails and the Rim HUD to give a little bit more detail of the colonists. I'm actually kind of surprised that none of that made it into the base game. So I'm running Rim HUD, which was updated like pretty much the day that the DLC and the update came out. Camera Plus was updated on April the 12th, I believe. So that's when I got it, because it was not updated the same day, but that's fine. And then interaction bubbles, all that stuff seemed to be updated right around the time that 1.5 hit. So as you can see, I just think that for some reason it looks so much clearer than it did before. And I have a little colony here. Let's turn off our mountains here. So I just kind of threw together a small settlement, and you can see there's blood on the ground. It has not gone well at all. I'll tell you a little bit about the story of what's going on here, and then after we talk a little bit about the interface. So with 1.5, there are a couple of little updates that you get. You'll note that there's, the additional buttons and stuff. But when you go into furniture's kind of the big one, because you do not need Anomaly to get the new furniture. So there's some new furniture you get. You get a bookcase and a small bookcase. You also get the wall lamp, and I don't have it. I'm guessing it must. I have it on my Landa Tribe playthrough, but I don't have it here. It must be a researchable item. But there is a floodlight that you can get. And that's all base game stuff. That's not like an additional mod or anything. So you have new lighting systems essentially, and that's really cool. That's a really cool thing. I haven't had a chance to really dig through a lot of this. The power conduit stuff is really cool because you can build hidden conduits. So let's say that you're building your power conduit here. Well, you can do a hidden conduit across the way, and this will be hidden from any of your enemies. So you won't have an enemy or maybe some kind of craziness going on that will break the power in this section. So that's really cool. That's a great addition. And then I haven't seen too much change as far as some of the other stuff. Recreation seems to be a lot of the same stuff. And yeah, but there are, there's a couple of things. And I just want to talk about the ornate doors. Let's talk about that real quick. So these are all 1.5, again, none of this stuff requires Anomaly. So if you're interested in trying out these new items, all you need to do is download the latest update. You don't need the DLC. But I was so excited for these ornate doors. But if you'll notice, they cost 50 gold. They cost 50 gold regardless of what they're made out of. So if they're plate steel or bioferrite. And then you have a security door, which requires components and plate steel, or whatever your well, you can only make plate steel. Okay, I thought we could make different versions of that. Of course, I guess the idea of a wooden security door probably doesn't make a good idea. But it was kind of interesting. It's like, oh, so I need gold regardless. So it's a gold door. That's pretty cool. I mean, gold's a thing. It's just I know sometimes I've had trouble kind of finding it and getting enough of it to do anything good. But yeah, so a lot of the changes, there's a couple of things. I just feel like that overall the game is a little bit crisper. I have heard rumblings about performance issues later on in the game, lag, but I have not experienced anything so far. I have no experience with it. So far, I haven't noticed any performance degradation as far as like gameplay. I have noticed that it does take a long time to load. The game takes a little bit longer to initialize before you get to the main menu. So I did notice that. It's not really something worth like, it's not like a deal breaker, but it is noticeable. It's a noticeable amount of time. So let's talk about Anomaly. So Anomaly adds, the first thing it does is it adds a couple of things to the game to get started. And if you want to jump into, I'm actually going to back out here. So if you want to jump into Anomaly right off the bat, so you go to New Colony, and they've actually included a custom scenario that will get you into the Anomaly story, or at least right on the cusp of unlocking the Anomaly research and the Anomaly activities. Because everything, or it seems like a lot of the stuff with Anomaly is tied to a monolith, some kind of weird structure. So this is the scenario that I'm actually running. What I had earlier on the screen. I'm going to go back to it here in a minute. It's interesting that I had a ghoul with me. So one of the characters that you get in that scenario is a ghoul. And if you don't feed your ghoul, it will come after you. It will feel betrayed. And your betrayed ghoul will come after you. It will try to kill you. And this is what happens. My dude was sitting here reading a book. The ghoul decided that we had betrayed it, and it tried to eat him. That's not him. Is this him? Yeah. This is Cam. He used to be a ghoul, but he is dead now. And then Ollie here. Ollie here was in bed. Well, let's talk about Ollie. So here's what happened. So Ollie here was attacked by the ghoul. We actually chased it out. It was really weird. I thought we had killed it. It crawled out of the room. It crawled out of here, and then it took off. We killed it. He goes back. He sits down. He's reading a book. The dude is legit sitting here reading a book, and then this thing appears, a sight stealer. And all it says is it's sight stealer, and boom, it comes out of the ground and attacks you. So that's what this blood is. Well, Spray came over, and both of the scientists, they killed this thing, or at least we thought they did. It was immobilized. It sat there, it wiggled a little bit. So these guys went to bed. Then it disappeared. And then it reappeared over here by his bed. And so it legitimately jumped on him in his bed and attacked him. And so he had to get up. We had to get up. And it's still there. It's still bleeding out. We don't have the resources or the capabilities at the moment to capture this thing. And so there's a good possibility that once I unpause, I'm going to have to fight it again and knock it down again, and possibly have Ollie, who is He's got a few injuries. Everybody's got scratches and everything. Have them taken care of. So let's talk about Anomaly. So Anomaly, it does a couple of things. So when you open up this scenario the first time, if you haven't unlocked access to the Anomaly DLC information, you'll see Anomaly. It'll be grayed out like this. But once you do, there's going to be options that grow. The holding spot is for dangerous entities. So you're going to have all kinds of weird entities that are going to roll through your colony. Zombies and Cthulhu and who knows what else. But it all starts here with this. This, my friends, is the Void Monolith. It doesn't look like this when you first get here. It actually looks like a kind of a pyramid rock. And it's swirling and twirling. The skeletons were here. I mean, I don't know about Haynes and Zebo and Diver. So, but they were here. This was like a rock. And then it activates. And so when it activates, Spray here, he ran up. He did something. He touched it. And there was kind of this like ethereal blast. And here we are with the Sight Stealer attacking us. Yeah. So, so far, it's really, I'm enjoying it with what little I've interacted with it. It is a new mechanic. It's really shocking. Like this guy here, Nick, he did the crawling thing. It's really creepy when you knock somebody down and, you know, where you're used to like them maybe writhing back and forth or they don't move, they're immobilized. This guy slid across the ground and out the door. And he was sliding on the ground like he was crawling away. And it was just really creepy. There's just there's a different atmosphere to it. Speaking of atmosphere, you can see the lights, and you know, I'm sure there's mods out there that had something like this, but for vanilla players, people who just have DLC or just have the main game and don't want to engage with Anomaly, these lights are awesome. They give a great ambient glow, and they are customizable as well, so you can change the color or whatever if you want to. So I'm looking forward to actually diving a little bit more into this to see what comes of it. It's pretty neat. I've seen some stuff online. There's some crazy creatures out there, and again, it's Rimworld, so it's all contingent on what you do with your colonists, what your goal is. You're going to get some random stuff, you know, but a lot of it, I think, really boils down to: are you going to capture this ghoul? Are you going to inspect it? Are you going to maybe, who knows what you're going to do with it? But you know, I'm pretty sure that what we do with these things is going to weigh heavily on how the ethereal creatures that are out there respond to us. One other thing I did notice, zooming the camera in, it reminded me, when I used to, in the older version, when you zoom out, you used to get far enough and you would get, is it doing it again? Oh, never mind, that must be the camera thing. Scratch that. So other than that, it's a pretty solid update from what I've been able to see. I haven't experienced any crashes or anything crazy. But I did want to mention, I had some questions about access to certain features. I thought I had covered it in my earlier video, but I guess not. So things like the lighting, the bookshelves, the ornate doors, and like the options for cleaning, and some of the new behaviors like the crawling and everything, that stuff is in the base update. The DLC unlocks things like this: Anomaly Research, Void Provocation. We can research ways to interact with the Void Monolith. And yeah, there's some really ghoul enhancement, ghoul resurrection. We could possibly bring Cam back to life. I mean, he's rotting, so we probably won't get to him. But if we have another one at some point, we could bring him back to life for her. So, but that's about it. It's really cool. Getting into it, just like a quick overview. It's a lot of deep changes, so there's not a lot on the surface that you'll see that has changed. But it feels like there's quite a few things underneath the hood that have been changed. The research stuff, this is really neat. This will not appear until you have interfaced with the monolith, so this will be blank. And once you've interfaced with the monolith, you'll get a notification that that anomaly research is available. And I think it was pretty much all that. Yep. You've got these new furnitures and lots of new ways to bring chaos to the galaxy in a way that only Rimworld can do. So I cannot wait to dig into this. I'm going to keep playing this little colony and see how we do. And can't wait to see what other people are doing out there. So leave a comment. Tell me about what you're doing. Are you doing anything interesting in 1.5 or in Anomaly? Have you had any strange tentacle monsters attack you in your sleep? And or are you trying to be the Dark Lord yourself? I'm pretty sure I'm going to try that at some point. So, hey everybody, thanks for hanging out with me for this quick informational video. And I'm Commander Exorcist. Take care, fly safe, and I will see you out there. Good night, everybody.